I told you a lie when I told you I was the best. I came here to rob and steal all your hopes, desires, and dreams. You see, I made you feel lucky to linger in my light. I told you nothing could compare to where I was going to send you, and for the moment, I sent you there, and you knew I was right. The only problem, you never seen our final destination. You never knew together we were spiraling out of sight. Before long, we were on street corners, hanging out late into the night. See, they make me look like candy now, rainbows, in fact, to draw you in. Will you fall? Will you come with me? You only seen when I made you smile like the sun, when I made you sing like a bird. I ran through your veins like a fish in the sea. Do you remember that first time you took that trip with me? I do. You took that shot, and before long, I danced inside you, taking you to that special place where nothing matters. You began to nod while still standing on your feet. You smiled as thoughts ran through your mind, and you did a small dance. You were there for the moment. Together, we were a team. Nothing mattered. All your worries gone. You shined like the sun and buzzed like a bee. When you first tasted my delightfulness, you could not understand how you lived without me. I made you smile. Your veins are tainted with poison. You feel the warmth soothe you. I made you quiver, and you never want to chase me away. You see, now you love me, and it's too hard to let me go. But did you know I'm only here to rob you? My soft caress is nothing more than a lie. Here to rob you with each little prick. Your head feels light. Most times, I chase away the sick. It won't take long before my beautiful song leaves your arms bruised and blue. Don't chase me away. I'm already here. You could not see that I was really here to rob you, to leave you hopeless, to leave your children fatherless, motherless. It won't take long for me to strip you of everything you have ever had. I am the reason you're homeless, yet you still love me. I abuse you every day, but remember that first day we started to play? Broken homes and broken hearts, memorials for those I have taken. Broken wings, broken dreams. I am one of the major contributors to Kensington Street. I am the reason that old man is laying motionless on Lyle Avenue in Rochester, New York. I am the reason people sleep on the concrete. I am the reason you live in filth. I am not your friend, but I made you believe that everything was going to be all right. But it never was. Never is. I see what they've said about me. Funny, I don't remember no good dope days. I remember walking for miles in a dope fiend haze. I remember sleeping in houses that had no electric. I remember being called a junkie, but I couldn't accept it. I remember hanging out in bandos that were empty and dark. I remember shooting up in the bathroom and falling out at the park. I remember nodding out in front of my sister's kid. I remember not remembering half of the things that I did. I remember the dope man's time frame. Just 10 more minutes. I remember those days being so sick that I just wanted to end it. I remember the birthdays and holiday celebrations. All the things I missed during my incarceration. I remember overdosing on my bedroom floor. I remember my sister's cry and my dad having to break down the door. I remember the look on his face when I opened my eyes, thinking today was the day that his baby had died. I remember blaming myself when my mom decided to leave. I remember the guilt I felt in my chest, making it hard to breathe. I remember caring so much but not knowing how to show it, and I know to this day that she probably don't even know it. I remember feeling like I lost all hope. I remember giving up my body for the next bag of dope. I remember only causing pain, destruction, and harm. I remember the track marks, the needles left on my arm. I remember watching the slow breakup of my home. I remember thinking my family would be better off if I just left them alone. I remember looking in the mirror at my sickly complexion. I remember not recognizing myself in my own damn reflection. I remember constantly assessing over my next score, but what I remember most is getting down on my knees and asking God to save me, because I don't want to do this no more. Despite all of this, it's hard to chase me away. The people who sell me smile in your face. When you have money, they are there to greet you. But when you're dope sick with no money to share, they really don't care. At some point you begin to fall. You look in the mirror and wither away, veins and bones. It didn't take long for you to get this way. I damaged all until there was nothing left to bear. Started slow, but each day I terrorized you. I chased away your pain for the moment, but all the time, plotting on your demise. Did you know that every 14 minutes, someone dies from a drug overdose? Someone left agonizing and left to groan? You could be one of the many left to die alone. I am in every neighborhood, every city. You see, I pollute your communities in every way, from the addict to the dealer. I don't discriminate. While you don't use me, I have come to take your life too, just in a different way. I told you we were friends when we started to hustle. I promised you money, cars and jewelry and women. I gave it all to you for the moment, but as I always do, I took it back by finding a victim for you. Sentences of 20 years or better come with overdose deaths, but you didn't know that, did you? You probably didn't even care. When it comes to prison, they don't send me there to do time. They send you. But this is what I do. In me, you see a better life. You think I am the come up, but in reality, I am your downfall. No matter your age, I can destroy you. Just earlier this year, I showed up in New Jersey. Troy Noakes, you were my guy. And you see me as your come up. You manufactured me in your house and had your 12-year-old nephew clean up after we were done. He got on his school bus, and that is when it was done. You see, they always show up when youngsters are involved. Cops everywhere. They picked me up and put me in the evidence locker. And now your come up is over. Troy, I see you, sitting in a jail cell, charged with first-degree aggravated manslaughter, first-degree strict liability drug-induced death, along with 7 other related charges. While I did not bury Troy's body when they sentenced him, I will have taken his life another way. We were best friends, Troy, and now you seem to hate me. I am the reason that your nephew is no longer here. Now you're left to stare in the mirror. And deep inside, Troy, I knew you, so I know that you care. I am the reason your mother cries every year on your birthday. I am the reason for her tears. Each year on the anniversary of when I took you away, she stands there at your grave. But no one to take away the pain. See, I have come to rob and steal. I have come to take all your hopes and desires. I have come to break wings. I have come to shatter dreams. You know, when you see the people walking down the street, you see people nodding out. You see people laid out on concrete. You see women out there, unfortunately, selling themselves, man, giving up their bodies for their addiction. You got to think in your mind like, wow. And, I kind of know from personal experience, some of you know my story. My father left when I was young, but eventually I run into my father and I know that he's a drug addict, right? I think I was in 7th grade or 8th grade when we ran into each other. And I remember them days where I was like, damn, I wish this dude would just be a dad. When I first met him, I'm like, that's my dad. And then I was like, damn, that's my dad. And you want a father where you're like, damn, I want my dad to go out there and throw that football with me, man. I want him to go out there and we box a little bit. I want him to help me with my homework. I want him to hug me. And, those are the things that you want, man. Those are the things that you desire. Those are the things that your kids desire. And, every person that we see out there on the street is somebody's child. They may be someone's mother or someone's father. And they're living in a life of despair, a life of hopelessness, a life where they're just, some people are just floating through, man. And I say this all the time, living to die. It's sad. And addiction is serious. Addiction is something that people struggle with. We had the brother on yesterday. He talked about his addiction. It's not easy, man. It's not easy. But there are people out there. There are places that'll help you, right? And I know, and I've heard this before, where people have gone to rehab centers. My cameraman, Kyle, they're like, well, if you're not using every single day, and we're not letting you in here. And I guess that's because they're just flooded, right? They're flooded with people trying to get in there. But there has to be hope, man. This can't be it. This can't be, if you're out there struggling with addiction, this can't be it. This can't be it, man. Life has so much more to offer. And I know, man, once you're physically addicted, you're dope sick. I seen my father dope sick. I seen my father when my brother killed himself getting high, and he was so high, he's like, oh, man. He's like, help me. The needle was stuck in his arm. That's devastating, man, for a young kid, man, my age at that time. Was I 12, 13? I'm like, damn, bro, this is my dad. This is who you are. And I didn't understand that at that age, the concept of addiction. And I just looked at him like, damn, bro, you're a piece of shit, man. And I didn't see that he was addicted, that he was sick, that he needed help. I didn't see that stuff. And I always heard, oh, he's going to rehab. And, he'd go to rehab and he'd be over there 4 or 5 days, get his weight up, and then he'd leave, But today's the day, man. Let today be the day that, if you can't do it on your own, that's understandable. Let today be the day that you knock on that door, man. You say, hey, man, I need some help, man. I don't know if it's going to be through the church, through the rehabilitation center, faith leaders. There's people out there that'll help you, man. Let today be the day. Let today be the day that you change your life and you say, you know what? Like in that poem that girl wrote that lost her life. She said, I don't want this no more. And I know there's so many of you that don't want this no more. And it's hard to walk away. It's hard to walk away. I know that. I see it. I see it in my community every single day. But try to be strong. Try to push forward. Go out there and seek some help, man. Go ahead and get it. I hope you guys enjoyed that video, but more than anything, I hope it hits home. And dudes that are out there, you're hustling, you're selling fentanyl. Look, man, I've been in prison with dudes that got 35 years. Talked about the kid Dennis from New York. 35 years, he was a drug addict. He was the middleman so that he could get high. And now he's got 35 years in the feds. They go back and they check that phone. Who's the last person you contacted? Oh, okay. Boom. Now they got you. Investigation started. They bring you in. They talk to you. And 9 times out of 10, people are like, well, man, you've seen First 48. But let today be the day that you change your life. Man, out there hustling that stuff, man, it's killing folks, man. It's leaving kids without mothers, kids without fathers. It's going to take you away from your kids, too. There's a possibility, man. Blood on the Razor Wire TV. Until tomorrow, we're out.